Warm greetings to everyone here. So we'll look into the second experiment of the digital electronic circuits, that is our experiment based on the multiplexer. So the question says, given a four variable logical expression, simplify it using appropriate technique and realize the simplified logic expression using 8:1 multiplexer IC and implement the same in the HDL. So what we are going to do is we are going to just concentrate on the very first part of the experiment, in which we are going to look into a given logical expression, and we are going to simplify that logical expression, and the given logical expression has to be implemented in the hardware kit. But the twist what we have in this particular question is the expression what is given to us is a four variable expression. So whenever the expression is a four variable one, normally there will be 16 combinations. So when it comes to the multiplexer, when I say it has got 16 combinations, it says that there are 16 inputs. A multiplexer which is having 16 inputs, out of which one has to be selected at the output side, should always be a 16:1 multiplexer. But the thing what is given here is the expression is a four variable logical expression, but you have to implement it using a 8:1 multiplexer. So which means that we have to reduce this four variable logical expression into a three variable logical expression, and once it has been reduced into a three variable one, only then we can implement it using a 8:1 multiplexer. So when I speak about a multiplexer IC, there is a ready-made multiplexer IC which is available in the laboratory, and the number of that IC is 74151. We will remember, or we will check the pin diagram of that particular multiplexer IC later. First of all, we will try, or we will concentrate on a task in which I need to be reducing this four variable logical expression into a three variable logical expression, or a circuit which is basically a 16:1 multiplexer. I need to reduce it into a 8:1 multiplexer. That is what the entire task is all about. After it has been implemented, as always, what we do in the lab is we will try to implement the same using the HDLs. HDL part we will check out later. So, as I am explaining you with respect to the lab manuals, we will have the detailed workout of this later. So the components what I require here are, as I said you, I need to be having an 8:1 multiplexer IC which is 74151. We'll check the pin diagram of this later. I need to be having a NOT gate. We'll check why this NOT gate is required. And later we need to be having a digital trainer kit on which I'll be placing all these ICs and connecting the ICs via the patch cords. So these are the components what are required to be. So when I speak about an 8:1 multiplexer IC, how does it look like, or what generally it looks like? So this is a general block diagram of your 8:1 multiplexer. So normally when I speak about an 8:1 multiplexer, my circuit will be having 8 inputs, and those 8 inputs are named as D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. So D0 to D7 will be making around 8 inputs. In addition to that 8 inputs, I need to be having a selector inputs. So selector inputs depends on the data inputs. So if there are 8 data inputs, I need to be having 3 selector inputs. That is 2 to the power 3 is 8. For example, if there are 16 data inputs, I need to be having 4 selector inputs. But right now I'm concentrating only on a 8:1 multiplexer. So there are 8 data inputs and there is 1 data output. So what I mean to say is, one among these data inputs will be selected by this multiplexer and it will be sent to the output side. No processing here. Whatever data comes inside, no processing of the data will happen. The data is as such sent to the output side. But the selection of the data from the input side will be guided by these 3 selector inputs which are present here, S0, S1 and S2. As I said you, number of selector input depends on the data inputs. As there are 8 data inputs, I need to be having 3 selector inputs. That is 2 to the power 3 is 8. In addition to that, I'm having one more pin which input which is called as enable input. This enable input is an input which basically enables my 8:1 multiplexer. What I mean to say is, if any of the data has to be selected from the given data by this particular selector inputs, my enable input has to be on, or my enable input should be high. Once the enable input is on, my 8:1 multiplexer can be functioning properly. If enable input is off, then this 8:1 multiplexer will not be able to select the data inputs even if there are selector inputs. So initially I need to make sure that my enable input is on. Only if the enable input is on, then any one of the data inputs from this will be selected and it will be sent to the output side. This is a general block diagram of your 8:1 multiplexer. The thing what I can see here, this is your truth table. This corresponds to the truth table of your 8:1 multiplexer. I can say that, okay, let's concentrate here. See, enable is 0 here, enable is 0 here. If the enable is 0 here, no matter whatever your selector inputs are, or no matter whatever your data inputs are, your output is going to be 0. Because your enable input is 0. You have not enabled your multiplexer. If you do not enable your multiplexer, obviously your output is going to be 0. This is my first case. So normally I do not consider this, but let's say that that is an example saying you that what happens if the enable input is not enabled. If the enable input is enabled, my selector inputs are 0, 0, 0. If the selector inputs are 0, 0, 0, my first data input will be sent to the output side. That is, my output will be D naught. If my selector inputs are 0, 0, 1, my second input will be sent to the output side. If my selector inputs are 0, 1, 0, my third input, that is D2, will be sent to the output side. Suppose if the selector inputs are 1, 1, 1, my last input will be sent at the output side. So basically, these people decide who has to be sent out and who has to be kept inside or who has to be blocked. So based on the status of this particular selector inputs, what I can see here, my data inputs will be sent outside or they will be blocked. So this plays a very important role in the selection of the data inputs. This is what is your 8:1 multiplexer general block diagram. And this is your truth table. Make sure always your enable input should be high if the multiplexer should function. If your multiplexer or if your enable input is not high, then your multiplexer will never function. So this is a pin diagram of your 74151. This is basically your 8:1 mux IC what I intend to use in the experiment. So if you check out this particular IC, you will get familiar with all the things what I explained. I said that my IC should be having inputs. My IC should be having the inputs D0 to D7. So it should be having 8 inputs. And it should be having an enable pin. It should be having an enable pin. It also should be having selector inputs S0, S1 and S2. So these are selector inputs. In addition to this, it should be having VCC and ground. It also should be having an output pin. So these are the pins what an MUX should or MUX IC should be having. So when I speak about an 8:1 MUX, it should be having 8 input pins, 3 selector inputs, 1 output pin, 1 output pin, 1 enable pin. Normally MUX ICs will be having an enable pin, 1 VCC and ground. So this is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. So these are the pins what I require in my IC. If I check out the pin diagram, if we check out the pin diagram here, see here, this is an 16 pin IC. So pin number 8 is ground. Pin number 8 should be connected to ground. This should be connected to ground. And pin number 16 is VCC. So this should be connected to your VCC. My data inputs are, check out, my data input, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So 4 data inputs are done. This is 5, this is 6, this is 7, and this is 8. 8 data inputs are done. 3 selector inputs. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So 3 selector inputs are also done. In addition to this, I should be having an enable pin. So this is your enable pin. But look into the enable pin here. My enable has been written as enable bar, which means that this enable pin here is active low. I can call this pin as active low input pin. Active low input pin means normally this enable pin should always be grounded. If you want to turn on this MUX IC, this enable pin should always be grounded. That is what this E bar indicates. You can see a bar here. So E bar indicates that this is an active low pin which should always be grounded. In addition, you can see your output. So this is your output pin. And if you want to see the complement of the output, even that is provided, which is output bar. So this is the pin diagram of your 74151 IC. However, I need one more IC which is 7404. The explanation and the pin diagram of the 7404 IC has already been done. So here this is your 14 pin IC. So this is basically your NOT gate IC. Pin diagram and pin configuration has already been explained to you people in the previous videos. So I will not go to explain this particular hex inverter IC once again. I just wanted you to explain regarding your 8:1 MUX IC, that is 74151. So moving on, the expression what is given to us in order to realize it using a multiplexer IC is y is equal to f of ABCD summation m. So m is missing here. So let me put that m here. 2, 4, 5, 7, 10 and 14, which means that this is your SOP form. This is your SOP form. Also, I need to remember that this has got 4 variables. This has got 4 variables. So obviously the combination of inputs will be 2 to the power 4, which will be 16. And the combination of the inputs has been shown here in the truth table. The truth table for the same has been plotted here and the output is yet to be plotted. I have taken all the possible combinations of the inputs. So let's go and plot the output. So this will be a Y. So this is 1. This is 1. 5, 6, 7 is 1. 8, 9, 10 is 1. So this is 1 here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So let's check. Oh, no. This is not the thing what it is given here. So let me plot it down again here. So it's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is 1. All the remaining things are zeros. So this is very known thing to you. So I'm not going to tell how exactly all these things happen. I'm just plotting the truth table as per the expression that is given to me. So I'm filling up all the remaining columns of the output of the truth table. So it's filled up now. But the question what they are saying is, this is a 4 variable expression. So when I say it's a 4 variable expression and you want to implement it using a multiplexer, normally I need to be having a 16:1 multiplexer. I need to take a 16:1 multiplexer with the 16 inputs, 1 output and 4 selector inputs. So this is a normal thing. But what they are asking is, they are asking to implement the same function using 8:1 mux, which is having 8 inputs, 1 output and 3 selector lines. So what I need to do is, I need to be converting this expression which is having 4 variables into an expression which is containing 3 variables. Which means that my 4 variables are A, B, C and D. This has to be converted to a function which are containing 3 variables. A, B, C or A, B, D or A, C, D, anything. One of the variable has to be left out. And the method whatever we are employing in order to eliminate a variable from the given function, we call it as entered. We have studied this. We call it as entered variable mapping method. So entered variable mapping method is a method in which normally an expression which contains, if it contains n variables, we will reduce or we will formulate that particular function into a, or we will formulate that given function into n minus 1 variables. So what I did here is, I'll try to eliminate D. This will be eliminated off. And this eliminated variable is called as entered mapped variable, or you can call it as entered mapped variable, or you can call it as a variable which will be getting eliminated. So what I need to do is, I need to rewrite this particular truth table. This particular truth table has to be rewritten. So let me check how the output is going to be. So let me go with the additional column for this particular truth table. I'll write it as map entered variable. So what I'm going to do is, as I said you, I'm just going to eliminate the variable D. This variable is going to be eliminated. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to strike off this particular column which is containing D. This particular column, let's say that I'm going to strike it off. I'm going to strike off this particular column. So once this particular column has been striked off, it means that this variable doesn't exist. This variable doesn't exist. So as of now, my truth table contains only 3 variables. So if it contains 3 variables, so normally my combination should be 2 to the power 3, which is 8. But this contains 16 combinations. So let's check it up. Now if you can check very properly, please concentrate. My first combination, this one, this combinations 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, both are same. This both are same. Again, if I check the next things, this will be 0, 0, 1, same combination. So this will be 0, 1, 0. This will be 0, 1, 1. This will be 1, 0, 0. This will be 1, 0, 1. This will be 1, 1, 0. And this will be 1, 1, 1. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. As of now, when you eliminated one of the variable, in spite of my truth table remaining the same, this is all about repetitions. This is all about repetition of the same things what had occurred previously. So let me write my truth table based on the variable that is eliminated, or let me write one more column here in which my output is said to be depending on the variable what has been eliminated, or it is based on the entered variable mapping method. So let's check how it is to be written. Okay, fine. Let's check this. 0, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 0. These are the both combinations. What is the output here? What is the output here? the output is 0 and the output is 0 here. So when both the outputs are 0 here, you can write a single output which is 0 for this combinations. For 0, 0, 0, my output is 0. So output will remain 0 itself. Check out the next combination. 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. What is the output? It is 1 and 0. So what are you going to write here? In case of this, it was 0, 0. Both the combinations were giving me 0, 0 as the output, because of which I wrote it as 0. But in case of this one, it is not possible to write it as 1 or 0. So what am I going to write? In case of this 1 and 0, I'm just going back and I'm just going and checking the value of the variable what has been eliminated. So when this was 1, what was the value of d here? It was 0. When it was 0, the value of d is 1. So I am going to write here d bar. So if it is same, I would have written it as 0 or 1. But as of now, it is different. This is 1 here and this is 0. Because of which I'll go and check back that variable which has been eliminated, and I will develop a relationship between the output and the variable that is eliminated, and I'll try to write my output in terms of the variable what is eliminated. Fine. That is 1. This is done. Coming to next one. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. What is the output here? Again here it is 1 and 0. Again here it is 1 and 0. If it is 1 and 0, I need to go back and check the variable what is eliminated. I need to go back and I need to check out here. So once you check out here, it is 0, this is 1, this is 1, this is 0. So again here it will become d bar. This will become d bar. So this is done. Next, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Output is 0 and 1. Output is 0 and 1. Again it is changed here. Again it is 0 and 1. So I'll go back and I'll check what is the value of d. Here it is, when the output is 0, d is also 0. When the output is 1, the d value of d is also 1. So what am I going to write here? I am going to write d. So this is done. Moving on further. 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0, my output combination gives me 0 as the output. So no worries, I am going to write it as 0 itself. Coming back. 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. So what should be written here? 1, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 1. In case of your 1, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 1, my output is 1 and 0. Again go back and check it. Again go back and check it. And this will give me d bar. Going to next one again. 0 and 1. 1, 1, 0, 0 and 1. So output is 0. So here I can write it as 0. Next, it is 0 and 1. 1, 1, 1 and 1, 1, 1 combination is giving me 1, 0. It is 0 and 1 here. So this is d bar. As of now, what you can write is, you can write your entered variable mapping combination truth table to be like this: A, B, C and Y. So this will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1. So this will be 0, this will be d bar, this will also be d bar, this is d, this is 0, this is d bar, this is 0 and this is d bar. So what we have done is, we have reduced a function which is having 4 variables to be a function which is having 3 variables, with one of the variable eliminated, but the eliminated variable is written in the output side, or I can say output is depending on the variable that is eliminated. This method is called as entered variable mapping method. This method is called as entered variable mapping method. Well, moving on. What I have done is I have just copied down the required truth table, what I have solved in the previous session or in the previous part. So that truth table is copied here, and I have also taken your 74151 IC. As I told you, my 74151 IC will be having 8 data inputs, 1 selector input, or you can also call this particular input. This particular input can be called as your enable also. The select S input can also be your enable input. I had explained you regarding this. And the selector inputs are ABC. This ABC are the same ABCs what we have here. Those ABCs are the same ABCs what we are having here. Those are the selector input. And this is your ground. This is your ground connection. And this is your VCC. And this will be output pin. This will be output pin. In fact, I'll be having Y bar also, which is not shown here. So let's go with the connections. So let me take a data input. Let me take a data input which is marked as D, which is marked as D. The same D is what I'm speaking here. Out of this particular things, let me say this is D naught. This is D1. This is D2. This is D3. This is D4. D5. D6 and D7. So my 8 data inputs are ready here. This has to be connected to your 74151 IC. So this is your data. First of all, let me check out which are the inputs, data inputs which has to be connected to 0. So my D0, D4 and D6 are the 3 inputs which has to be grounded. They have to be connected to ground. So let me check them. So D0, I have D0 here. So you can take D0. Other one is D4. Yeah, I have D4 here. And other one is D6. I'll take these 3 inputs. I'll take these 3 inputs as they are to be connected to 0. I'll take them and I'll connect them to ground. And I will connect them to ground. I'll connect them to ground. After connecting them to ground, let me check regarding the other connections. What is D1 connected to? D1 is connected to D bar. So this is D here. This is D here. So what I'm going to do is I'll be taking D. I'll be taking D bar. How do you convert D bar? D bar is nothing but you connect a inverter and this will be D bar. Fine. Which are the inputs which is connected to D bar? D1, D2, D5, D7. So I will take D1. This is D1 here. So D1 will be connected to D bar. D2 will be connected to D bar. D5 will be connected to D bar. D7 will be connected to D bar. After that, which are the inputs that's connected to D? D3, only D3, right? Yeah, only D3 is connected to D. So I will take the connection from here and I'll connect it to D3. So this is how you are going to make the connections of your multiplexer IC with the reduced number of variables. After these connections are done, you turn on the things, you will be switching on your circuit. After you switch on the circuit, you will verify the truth table that you have built using a entered variable mapping method. This particular verification of the truth table, we will check it in real time by implementing the circuit on the digital trainer kit. So this is all is regarding the design part of your 16 is to 1 mux using an 8 is to 1 mux using an entered variable mapping method.
So the circuit what we are going to implement is this one. This is the circuit diagram what we are having. So we'll try to implement this particular circuit diagram in the digital trainer kit. So we have one 7415 IC and one NOT gate IC. So we need to be taking one NOT gate IC, one 741 IC and digital trainer kit. Along with that we need to be going with the patch cords. So we have the digital trainer kit here. So your ICs are already placed. This is your 7404 which is NOT gate IC, and this is your 74151 which is a 8:1 multiplexer IC. So we'll go on with the connections. We'll go with the connections one by one. We'll start with the power pins and the ground pins. So with respect to NOT gate, pin number 14 is VCC and pin number 7 is ground connection. Coming to this one, pin number 8, coming to 74151, pin number 8 is ground and pin number 16 is your VCC. So ground and VCC connections are done. Now what we'll do is we'll go with the selector input connection. So my selector inputs are A, B and C. I have three selector inputs, and in addition to that one variable what has been eliminated. So we'll take the selector input A, and from A we'll connect it to pin number 9 of IC2. Pin number 9 of IC2. Yes. So that is done. And we'll take one more selector input. We'll take one more selector input, that is B, and from B we'll connect it to pin number 10 of second IC. We'll take one more selector input, that is C, and from C it will be connected to pin number 11. So your selector inputs S1, S0, S1 and S2 are connected. So S0 is C, so here S0, S1 and S2. So the connections are done. Moving on further, we'll take one more selector input, that is D. The variable what is eliminated will be taken and it will be connected to pin number 1 of your NOT gate IC. Yeah, and the output of that is D, pin number 2, that will be actually D bar. From D bar it will go to pin number 3 of IC2, and connections will also go from same pin, that is from pin number 2. The connections will also go to pin number 14 and pin number 12 of second IC. So that is D bar. Pin number 12 of the second IC. Yeah, the connections are done. This is what the connections are being done. So from D bar, my connections are going to pin number 3, connections are going to pin number 14, and connections are going to pin number 12. So D bar connections are done. Let me check with respect to the remaining things. So the one more connection what I have is from from input D. From input D, connection will go to pin number 1 of your second IC. Yeah, that is this connection. From pin number D, it will go to pin number 1 of your second IC. Remaining connections we will do as per the things it is given here. That is pin number 7 and 4 are to be grounded. So pin number 7 and 4 are to be grounded. Pin number 15 is to be grounded, and pin number 13 is also to be grounded. So pin number 7 is grounded, pin number 4 is grounded, pin number 15 is grounded, and pin number 13 is also grounded. The remaining connections what I have there is pin number 2. Yeah, pin number 2 is to be connected to power supply. The remaining connections what I have here is, it's all grounded. See here, 7, 4, 15 and 13, they are grounded. It's all almost like done. So one connection that is left out is pin number 2. Pin number 2 is to be connected to VCC, that is 1, right? So pin number 2 is to be connected to VCC. You can connect it to any VCC in the available in the kit. So the connections what is left out there is pin number 5 and pin number 6. Pin number 5 is your output. So you can check out here. Pin number 5 is your output. Pin number 6 will be your output inverted. So pin number 5 will be connected to the output. So from here it will be connected to output. So the green lines are the output pins. Also, if you want, you can take pin number 6 and you can connect it to output. So that will be the inverted one. So the connections are done. The connections are done as of now. So what we need to do is we need to turn it on. It's turned on and we will verify the truth table. I'll tell the output combination 0 0 0. For 0 0 0, my output should be 0 0. So this is your output. This is your output complement. So when this is 0, this should be 1. That is the first combination. For 0 0 1, for 0 0 1, my output should be 1. My output should be 1. So or it depends on my D combination. So if it is actually D bar. So when it is 0 0 1, my output is D bar. So as of now this is my D. So when it is 0, my output should be D bar. If I make this 1, my output will become 0. So that is what I said, my output will be depending on the variable what you have eliminated. Going to the next combination, 0 1 0. For 0 1 0, my output should be 1. No matter what is the condition of your D here, it is 0 or 1, your output will remain 1. Going to the next combination, that is 0 1 1. For 0 1 1, it will be D. See, now right now your D is off. So if you make it 1, output will become 1. If you make it 0, output will remain 0. For the next combination, it is 1 0 0. For 1 0 0, it will be, for 1 0 0, it should be D. No, for 1 0 0, it should be 0. No matter whatever is your input, it should be 0. So it will remain 0. Next is 1 0 1. For 1 0 1, your output will be D bar. So here your D is 0, output is 1. When I make it 1, it will become 0. Next combination, 1 1 0. For 1 1 0, your output will be 0 no matter what is the state of your input. Last combination is 1 1 1. For 1 1 1, your output is going to be D bar. You can see with variation of D, your output changing. So this is what has to be implemented and the truth table has to be verified. So we have verified the things with respect to the truth table and the entered variable map of your second experiment in part B.